And greetings everyone, and welcome to the series that very nearly didn't ever happen. Basically, this is my third attempt recording the first episode of Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. First time round, my recording software decided it didn't want to work. So then, I know, smart move, let's record it on the PlayStation 5. Yeah, file size is too big to be transferred to my USB stick. I then recorded it using Streamlabs, which I'm doing this time around. But the second time I recorded this video, I had my mic muted. So it was either re-record it all over again or sit there and do a voiceover over it. And, well, the voiceover would have been, well, probably crap, because I can't remember exactly what I was doing or talking about at the time when I was wandering around. Basically this came about because I was in our latest episode of Borderlands, Skill and Finesse, I believe it's called, with Mr. Spartan Elite 43. Go check it out on his channel. I'm thoroughly enjoying the series. But yeah, so I was chatting about it because he started a series on Car Mechanic Simulator himself, and he's like, do it, make a video on it, I'll watch. So yeah, if he's not in the comments, ladies and gentlemen, get over there and badger him, because he promised me. But anyway, let's get into it, shall we? So welcome to Auto Repairs. I don't know, do we have a name? Like Red Ots, Auto, Body and Parts. Fix it all. We are playing it on Expert difficulty mode, so if the game looks a bit complicated, that's because, well, it is. But there is an easy and a normal mode that are significantly easier. Basically, it's like things like this door would be outlined and it would tell you you can click it and go outside, but you're just expected to know that a toolbox can be accessible, and this is where you put your upgrades in. This is why you buy upgrades to expand your garage, and so on and so forth. Oh, excuse me. Right, okay, so we'll have a quick garage tour. We have a tyre machine, a balancing machine, a bunch of toolboxes laying around the place, a spring clamp. This allows us to assemble and disassemble springs. Have a interior valeting kit that costs us $100 every time we use it until we unlock it. We have our fan. Everyone needs a good fan. Our PC, our little computer where we can access all the different shops. Telephone, dodgy old radio, and lift. So everything else is blocked off, and basically upgrades. So the old gas station, we can upgrade this, and when we upgrade it, we can renovate body parts, and so on and so forth. Yes, and that's our shop truck. It's a shame we can't pimp that out. Ooh, on the back. That will eventually be our paint shop over there. This will be our valeting bay eventually, when it's finished construction. And yeah, so all this is mine. I just fix cars, buy cars, sell cars, and do them up till we can make some money. Right, so let's take off this job, and basically, my purpose is to make as much money as possible, and a good way to do that is to level up, because leveling up can unlock some bonuses. Now, I know by the description of the job, this is literally just going to be changing oils and filters. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to inspect as much of the car as I can, as much as the car as I can bother to as you can see, my XP is ticking up really nice and quickly, and the faster we level, the faster we can unlock personal upgrades to our mechanic. That'll allow us to make more money, actually. Speed things along. So I'm already thinking about this. I think the way this series is going to run, because it's going to be very slow, a bit boring if you're watching me. Absolutely every single car that comes in. So what we might do, we might just do once we've completed a task, like changing fluids. We're just changing fluids from now on, and we'll zip through it. Sort of speed up the gameplay as opposed to sitting there making you watch each and every single individual step. So basically, we've got to change all the fluids in this one. Is an easy enough job. Additional tools. The only thing we start off with is a drain tool. We've just quite simply got to drain all the fluids, fill them all back up. That should be us good. This isn't going to make money, but it give us a good bit of XP. And this is the game has a really nice progression system, whereas it starts off and it will be simple tasks like changing brakes, changing fluids, before you get into going down engines. Obviously, it threw you straight in down engines. If you haven't played this before, I've got any experience. Well, yeah, it would be incredibly difficult. So it does have a really nice, sort of progression system to it. Obviously, the game very much just really, for anyone playing it, it was very much designed for PC. But sometimes it can be controls are a little bit dodgy on occasions, but it's not terrible. Apologies if I'm a bit croaky and not actually great. So as you can see, we've spent 75 credits. Oh yeah, 75 credits. Or we spent 47 credits fixing stuff. We're gonna make $64 for completing it. Like $6 for completing our first. Well, it doesn't sound like much, and it's not, but it will increase as we start doing more complicated jobs. This one's going to be another one of those fantastic ones. It's worth doing these refill power fluids and get bonus. Our steering fluid. As soon as that angle changes, you basically know that you've done enough to finish that mission, that refill. I believe you can just keep on filling, spill out, and just cost you money. This is what I'm on about. This inspection part. We'll you know what? I'm not gonna fast forward through anything in this first episode. Like, I'll get down to the comments, but whilst I'm doing this, because I'm literally just doing. Oh, there it is. That. We're level 2 already. I think just by inspecting all the parts. You can typically make about 100 XP per car, or more if you've got the tools. There's a bunch of tools that you can buy that will help you advance how quickly, and also they're quite good for practically discovering, diagnosing potential issues. So, see, it's like this. A little bit frustrating that it's very much designed for point and click automatic. Sometimes it's a bit janky trying to control it with the rover. Essentially what you're seeing as well, just because obviously I haven't probably explained it, the colour of the parts donates basically how good they are. There's absolutely nothing. Our green is like, you know, it's up in the 90%, like 60 to 70 I think is no, 60, 50 plus 50 to 70 I think is yellow, and it's the orange things that are over 20%. If it's below 10, below 20%, then that's a part to be changed. Right, so yeah, get that mode. Our ticket. Yeah, everything's done, and we're gonna make massive $11. So, as you can see, so first two jobs were all changes. We won't get into it, we'll get into the story more. Then this job starts to change. So we'll have a look. Basically, I want to kind of show you the progression. Oh, this is fantastic. Really don't think that was meant to happen. Well, this is going. This is genuinely, this is legitimately the first time the game has crashed on me. So okay, something went wrong with this. Right, you know what? I'm going to leave that in because, well, it happens. Games occasionally crash. It's not the end of the world. It's just something that we're going to have to deal with. The game does have a bunch of funky music, but I'm assuming there's going to be issues with copyrights. So what I might do, I may or may not, add some music of my own to the background. And don't worry, it won't be me singing. it'll be music that I've got the rights through my epidemic and accounts. So yeah, we'll see. So right, come on, game. Let's see if we're not broken this time. Ooh, question is, do we attempt? We'll try it. There, voila, it works. So this is, I do have the DLC. Ooh, DLC, $3.99, really basic. Also, want that option, cast that. Brake system, fixing parts not discovered. Right, okay. So, this is where you actually want to use, legitimately want to use navigation for potentially this. Well, I don't think this is really great, but you never know. Might actually give us some input. We don't need to look at the engine, but hell, we're going to anyway. That's XP, and like I'll leave it down to you guys in the comments. hopefully, well, like I said, it's entirely up to you. If you want to see me farm every single bit of XP that I possibly can out of each job, then great. If not, and because, like, yeah, this is something that you will need to do. So in all fairness, it's actually probably really, really good habit to get into doing this each time you play, because, well, yeah, you're going to end up doing it. It's something that you're going to do a lot more jobs. Just get into the good habit of inspecting a car to find potential problems. Okay, so how's that? Right, it's not highlighted any of our issues. Right, so what we can do, take the car to the test track. Yes, that's right. You can drive your customers' cars around the local test track, and that should actually. So what we can do, there are options. We can strip the car, and we can find the bits that we're looking for, just by knowing, it's like, oh right, the brake system. It's only a few things, a few parts and components that make up braking systems. Excuse me, this is a car mechanic game, not a racing simulator. I'm driving. Yeah. It's a bit janky. Oh my good god. So, as you can see in the top corner, we've got our checklist basically. As we're going through certain sections, it tests certain things. I'm on for a brake test right at the end. Basically, when we go back to the garage, not only will we earn a bunch of XP from doing this test, but it should highlight everything that's wrong with our brakes, because our test does cover the brakes. There, so drum brake, disc ventilated, brake caliper, and brake ventilated. So there, we have actually established some problems, and yeah, they're all our problems that we have. Right, okay, so we can't fix the brakes outside. We are going to have to take our first car onto our lift. To operate the lift, obviously, there's up and down buttons. On normal or easy mode, it'll actually highlight these buttons. You're not just, randomly clicking on things that, there are things that you can't click on, like you can't make this stop sign do anything. You can't make this bus do anything. And actually, it makes me a little bit sad, right, that when we upgrade, we actually lose the bus. I like the bus being in my garage, and in all fairness, I'd love to renovate it, but unfortunately, you're not allowed. Right, okay, so let's crack on. Walking out. Right, okay, so it did say there was a problem with the drum. These brakes look really good. Actually, I don't think it's put parts back on. Drum's 55%, that looks absolutely fine. And just to point out something about the game, the drums, the rust doesn't donate rust specifically. It just sort of points out damage. So the rustier something looks, the more damage it is. So yeah, as we can see, look at this drum brake. So the shoes and our cylinder look absolutely fine. We can go into our inventory. Drum brake 1%. Fine. okay, so we definitely needed to replace that. I'm pretty sure it was both ventilator discs we had a problem with. And you see, this is where the mechanic bit comes into it. So you can't just pull the brake disc off. You have got, and particularly on expert mode, you've got to have a basic understanding in exactly how a car is put together. Brakes are relatively simple, not fairness. But when you get to engine and suspension components, there is a set way that you have to take a particular item off the car. So get rid of our brake caliper, our brake pads, and then we can access the disc. Right, okay, so let's check our list. So 2 ventilated discs, 1 brake caliper, 1 drum we need to replace. And right, okay, so I forgot to mention this as well. So basically, I didn't initially start playing this game. I didn't buy this game to start playing until old Mr. Spartan brought out his was before. Okay, brakes are perfect. Fairly straightforward to do. In all fairness, it's quite a small section, but all the parts for your car you'd have to remember or write down a little list. So like when you start getting to things like engines, so like just for example, look at the list of different cam kits that you could potentially put on depending on what car you're using. So and camshafts, like look at all these different camshafts. You know, you've got a variance, multiple variants of gigs. And basically that will get incredibly frustrating. But what you can do in your inventory, you can click add to shopping cart, add to shopping cart, add to shopping cart, add to shopping cart. And this is like the biggest quality of life upgrade in the game by far. So ventilate this, move them from our shopping cart, brake drum, sorry, move that. Pro tip, always once you've got the item, remove it from your basket, because otherwise you're going to end up buying a lot of parts that you don't need. We need to go into part mount mode, and we can start putting this little car back together. One thing you do need to be careful with this core bike, that brake caliper here. Right, you've got to look at, so it'll have a percentage, you have to repair it to 53%. Right, so let's check our inventory. So the caliper is fine. What can happen is, say I pulled off it, say it said 70%, there's only one caliper that was broken. Put the new caliper on the wrong side, it will count it job completed. You have actually then got to go back and replace it with either swap them round or replace it with another brand new caliper, which can be a little bit annoying because that was acceptable on the other side. It's not acceptable for the new part. You know what I completely forgot to do? Completely forgot to do our very first upgrade, which would be to basically get a discount on parts. So we've lost we've lost money on this job over what I usually would have done. Well, that's because I'm distracted making videos. You know what I think we might look at? Yeah, right. Job's done. Would have made what? $200 profit? Your 5% discount. Definitely gonna want that. We will speed up our spannering a little bit because it does make a huge difference. But my primary focus is going to be on the renovation side. We want to be able to start fixing parts as soon as possible. To do that, we are going to need our workbench, which is 1,500 quid. But we're going to have to pay for garage expansion first. But actually, the first two things that I'm probably going to want to okay, some things I'm going to have to unlock. We're going to have to unlock some testers. But the first two things that I want to unlock is the car wash and the welder, which requires expansion. So we need 15. We need a lot of money, so we're going to have to do some. We're going to have to do some grinding, sure. But basically, my whole game plan is to absolutely maximise the profit that we. And the weird thing is, the welder sits here usually, so you don't actually need expansion to unlock the welder. But I think it's because of how much money you make out of the welder that they just make you do it. Because otherwise you're going to accelerate your gameplay into the strategy. Look up. Got another upgrade? No. I didn't spend all of those skill points. Okay. So we could continue doing sort of mundane tasks, and basically you'll get the same tasks. It'll be restricted to just, basic brakes, basic suspension, and fluid changes till you complete the story mode, and the story mode will basically bring a bunch of new mechanics into your garage, and once you've done them, they'll unlock them for regular orders. And there's a couple of things to point out as well, actually, on the orders, which is something you may or may not want to pay attention to, but sometimes you'll need to. Sometimes you will start running low on money and stuff. So that's a normal order. You basically get nothing. You get bonus credits for doing that order, and story mode. It just unlocks more functions, more repairs in the garage. So we'll end this episode with doing this story order. Right, so hi, I was passing by and noticed your repair shop. It's good to see someone's taking care of that old ruined petrol station. The car I'm coming with you today is quite a recent purchase. It was used daily and the conditions are that okay. It would be good to check the oil levels, tyres. That should be no problem for you. If you manage, then perhaps this won't be our last meeting. See you. Right, okay, so this one has kindly given us a list telling us it wants new brake pads, new fuel pump, new oil filter, air filter, standard tyres. Wants us to change the oil, change the brake and power steering fluid, and then windscreen washer fluid. So, as you can see, because we know those parts are bad, they're already highlighted as bad, but we can still inspect the car and arm ourselves even more experience. One thing though, you do need to be careful of, because as you can see here, we've got a lot of worn parts. there's a lot of stuff that you could definitely replace, but it's not part of the job. Job is what the description is. So, you know, yeah, they've requested a new air filter. Alright, their air filter's okay. It's actually good enough. It doesn't need to be changed. Not red, but you don't want to. You don't want to go replacing the upper and lower covers of the air filter, because essentially that's not what they asked for. You're not going to get paid for that, and it's probably going to end up costing you money. Right, why will you not expect that? Or see, that's what I mean. It's not optimized for a controller, unfortunately. And sometimes it can be a little bit fiddly, and it can wind me up on that. So, want a new air filter. Drain oils, fluids. You might as well drain this phosphorus here. Drain our coolant. We'll drain the steering fluid as well. Don't need to drain the water fluid. You just need to top that back up. Right, oh, yep, got to mention this. We have our oil draining tool. Basically, if you don't drain the oil, you get fined. You get charged for cleaning up your garage. So if you're taking parts off, definitely want to make sure the fluid's joined. So I've drained the coolant. So now, like, if I had drained the coolant and I pulled off the water pump, it would leak coolant everywhere. And that would cost me $50. So you don't want that happening. If I remove the oil filter before removing the oil, that would have cost me. And as you can see, especially early on, you don't get paid big bucks for the jobs. Not even close. So you can actually, basically profit completely by getting to drain the fluids. So draining fluids is always a good starting point. Right, okay, so that's our air filter, our fuel pump, and our oil filter done. What else was on our list? It was all brakes, that wasn't it? Brakes. 2 sets of brake pads. And 4 tyres. Right, so what we can do, you can go into inspect mode. Because these steep tyres can't actually see. Right, we need to take the wheels off anyway. We'll take the wheels off. Hopefully inspect the handle. I believe it should just be both the front wheels. I'm pretty sure the back of these have front brakes, but I could be wrong. They look pretty gammy on this car and all that. I kind of WD-40, which just happens to be called DW04 in the game. I do like the sort of very blatant, like, you know exactly what this is looking at it. what you can do, go into your inventory. So, yeah, both these brake pads are down at 15%. So they're probably the pads that that need to be removed. Other space, sorry. I'm pretty sure we're going to be hit by a drum brake. Yeah. So drums have shoes. So brake shoes we know definitely not the back. Got to move the angle so you can see my DW04 cam. There we go. Right, okay, so you can't just swap the tyres, you have to separate them first. I just realised you don't actually activate this. I would expect us to have gotten some sort of extra this at least. And one thing is, I actually one of my first jobs was actually a car mechanic. So there's features like how the wheel balancing sheet stuff works that actually basically exactly how they work in real life, which is really nice. So let's go into our inventory. Standard tyres, 2 sets of brake pads, fuel pump or filter. Our shopping list. Right, no standard tyres in here. Right, let's put that in a second. Brake pads done. Right, move them. Fuel pump. And the fuel pump in here. And you'll find everything else here basically, apart from the tyres. Then each time you buy a part, it's just good practice to remove them from your shopping list. Right, okay, so tyres. So open up our shopping list. So one annoying thing is everything else it picks the exact right part. On your shopping list for tyres, it just picks the type of tyre. So what we want 4 15-inch 215 75. I'm going to trust myself. Open shopping list. Yeah, 215 75. Right, okay. That's good news. Right, good news for us that we didn't screw that up and spend 600 quid on tyres that we didn't need. And this is exactly how a wheel balancer looks. What you'd be doing in real terms is lining the wheels up, and the gauge. There's a gauge on the side that says like go this way, that way, and it tells you essentially what weight to add. To the wheel. This is what you'd be doing. You'd be tacking on a small weight, and that'll balance your wheels. For anyone who doesn't know what wheel balancing is, essentially it does exactly what it says, balances the wheels. But if your wheels aren't balanced, most people who've driven a car have probably experienced it. If you've driven any crappy cars that haven't had their wheel balanced, you get random vibrations, which are really annoying. And it'll be, at a particular speed, like 70 mile an hour, your wheels will become unbalanced and it'll just start bloody vibrating crap out of the steering wheel. And not pleasant for anyone, really. But you do have to, in the game, you have to balance the wheels. You won't let you put unbalanced wheels back on a car. Every time you choose this, you do can't believe it didn't give us any XP at all for that one. Moving around the car, and sometimes align ourselves in a way that we can just click on the next part and just zip to it, as opposed to right. So on our new pads. One thing, obviously, when you do put it back together, it does actually give you the ghost image for the next part to go on, even in expert mode, which is quite handy. And right. The other side. Part mode, so you get the outline of the next part that needs to go back on. I probably should have pointed that out earlier. You probably noticed, if you didn't. Yeah, at least when you're putting a car back together on expert mode, it literally shows you what part it's got. So it is inherently much easier to put a car back together than it is to take them apart. Fuel pump, and you can actually see it here, but it's not going to let us click on it. Come on. There we go, we're close enough. That's the oil filter back on, so that's everything that we need to do from underneath the car. Last time I recorded it, actually, in all fairness, I forgot to put the fuel pump in, and I ended up lifting the car back out to put the fuel pump in, and I did. Then put it back down, and I go, ah, yeah, I need to put the oil filter in. So. Can drastically increase the time required to do work on a car when you get part mount mode. You don't want to be in part mount mode. If you click on this, you can fill it up. When filling up with the oils and fluids and stuff, you'll notice the angle changing that the bottle's held. Basically, that minimum, and that is actually enough fluids in there. The radiator. Some components you can see the oil level on, or fluid levels. Sometimes you can't, and when you can't, it's damn annoying. But that's why they've got that little mechanic in there. But that shows you, yeah, actually, you don't need to fill it all the way up. Watch now, you can see in this. We can clearly see a min and max. Like half full, and there we go. There. See the angle drop, and it's like, yeah, I don't need to put any more in. An important one, I haven't actually noticed this mechanic being like a problem in this game, but in real terms, if you overfill your oil, it's actually as bad as not having any oil in your engine. Really? You're not going to let me check the dipstick? Perfect. Right in between the min and the max. Fill up our water bottle, and that should be it. That should be our first major story mode job done. Check the car status. Right, okay, so all the fixed parts are done. Oil changed. Change the fluids. In job. Right, okay, and go over to our credit. So we'll get $1,800 back, but we did spend, almost 1,000, just over 1,000 on our tasks. So we're going to make about 800 quid. And there we go. So far we've made 1153. Obviously doesn't seem that impressive, but trust me, it speeds up. It speeds up a lot. And as you can see now we've unlocked engine issues. So on this VW Golf, yeah, I'm not going to Edmund Giga GT. Oh, it's a VW Golf. That looks like a, I don't even know what that is. That's a shitty little car that I would never pay any attention to in real life. Griffin Typhoon is our next story mode mission, which is definitely not a mini. 100%. That's not a mini because that would be quite infringement, obviously. So we're gonna call this episode there. Thank you very much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, you know, help me decide how you want this series to go. Do we wanna sort of, well, we can later on. We can sort of make a mockery of possibly some other car shows that are on TV. I was thinking of possibly Fast and Louder, Fat and Obnoxious game mode, where you just hear me scream "woo" all the time. When I get to the point where I can start doing jobs like that, yeah, like that's definitely not a Mitsubishi Eclipse, not at all. The jobs do change; they'll pop up, and you'll get a time limit to pick the jobs. That one just looks like it's another basic oil filter change, but you'll see that there's more higher paying jobs. You start getting into engines and stuff now. But yeah, so let us know how we're going to do it. Do you want to see each and every individual component, or do you want me to just focus on the story missions, or do you want me to focus on, you know, getting to a stage where we can basically do what we want? Anyway, let me know in the comments below. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and of course, until next time, take care.